the continuation of the yesterday's class, that is 2D array. Now can you see the screen, students? Hello? Can you see the screen? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So look at this. Yesterday we have started with what we call it as the 2D array, and I gave the introductory part of 2D array, how you people can declare the 2D array, okay, how exactly the data is dumped inside the 2D array, and then we went for the compilation, the initialization of the 2D array there, right? So what we call it as the compile time initialization and a runtime initialization, right? And we went for reading the data for the matrices there, because it's a 2D array. 2D array acts as a matrix there, right? So that's why how can we read the data for the matrix? That's what we have studied. Then how can we display the same thing on the screen in the form of matrix? That also we studied in the last class there, right? So along with that, I took up one simple example to solve a simple equation there, that is C is equal to A plus 2 into B there. So where A is one matrix and B is another matrix, you are supposed to read both the matrices, but I told you the size of that matrix should be same there. If the first matrix size is something like 2 into 3, second matrix should be also 2 into 3. Then only we can proceed with this solving this particular equation, right? Okay, that's what we have studied in the yesterday's class. I have explained the program also. I wanted to just show you the execution of the same program now. So look at this A. I have to read the matrix A here. So before that, I have to read the row and column of that. That's why I'm asking you people enter the order of the matrix there. That's what you are reading here, or we are reading here, M into N. Then I'll start reading the elements of the matrix A there, right? How do I read that? So with the help of two for loops. The outer for loop is talking about the rows, the inner for loop is talking about the columns. So I'll stand on particular row, I'll start reading the individual columns of the first row there, or the particular row there. And once I read all the columns of the first row, then I'll proceed with the next row and so on till all the rows of the matrix are read there. Okay, and this is done for the matrix A. The same thing I'll be carrying out for the matrix B also. Once I read both the matrices, okay, here look at this. This is row value, this is column value, right? So this is column value, this is row value. And in this case, the row and column of both the matrices are same, because I am reading it only once. And I am using it for the reading both the arrays there. I mean matrix there, or matrices there. Now I'll carry out the equation. Okay, so now how do we do that? I mentioned over here. Okay, so I and J, I stands for again the row here, and this is for the column now. So you know this. Okay, so I'll be storing the result inside the C, as they have mentioned. We are supposed to store the result in C matrix. So that's what I have written here. Where is that? I can see. Okay, so C of the individual memory location, that is I comma j, is equal to A of I comma j plus 2 into B of I comma j. So particular data will be picked from the the array A and array B. Array B is added with array A. So before array B contents will be added with array A contents, so it will be multiplied by 2 there. That's what we have done. That's what the equation is suggesting us to do, right? So once we do this, so we are coming out of the loop there, and we are trying to print the same thing over here, right? So let's look into the execution of the same thing now. Compile this. Okay, it is successfully compiled there. There is no issue in this, I think. Okay, no errors. So let's go ahead with the execution of that. So it is asking me to enter the order of a matrix. Okay, tell me the order of a matrix, I'll read according to that. Any one of you read the size of the matrix? Order of the matrix, make it fast.
2 into 2.
Pardon?
2.
2
and 2.
2 and 2. Okay, so it's a square matrix there. Okay. Okay. Read the elements of the matrix now.
1,
How
2,
many
3,
elements
4.
how many elements you are supposed to read?
4.
4, right? So I'll read the 4 values now. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now enter the elements of the matrix 2 now. Matrix B.
2.
It is 2
and 2. Same.
2
4, 6.
4
1, 3.
6. Okay. Somebody else has said. Check it out. So what answer you got here? What is the answer you got?
Same answer, ma'am.
Is it okay? So you got 1 here.
5, 6, 7.
So 2 here. 2 is multiplied with 2. 2 into 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. So I got this as 5. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then next one is 2 into 2. It is 4. 4 plus 2 is? 4 plus 2 is?
6.
6.
6. So have I got 6 here?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. Then 4 into 2 is 8. 8 plus 3 is?
11.
8 plus 11. So I got this as 11 over here. So similarly for this, 2 into 6 is 12. 12 plus 4 is?
16.
16.
So I got this as 16. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So any query related to this?
No queries.
Right? Okay. So now this is how you people can take care of this. Okay. So any doubt you people can ask me. So do you have any query related to this? I've done very simple thing in this. Okay, so program looks too big. Okay, because if you look at the size here, it is 43 lines, right? So program looks a little bigger because many times we are repeating the same thing here. The same for loop is repeated here also, right? Correct, no? Here also we are reading a matrix. Here also we are reading a matrix, but only the different matrix. That's all. Here we are reading A matrix. Here we are reading B matrix. Correct? Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's why it looks little bigger. Otherwise, okay, very simple. So to avoid this kind of clumsiness, okay, our reputational things, we'll go ahead with the functions, right? So that we are going to study in the 4th module, right? So how many times we have to write the same thing? I'm not interested to write the same thing again and again. So if you feel like that, okay, so that's what we go ahead with, what we call it as functions. I'll be writing it only once. So how many times you want to call that function, you call it, but I'll be writing that particular function only one time. Right? Are those statements only one time? That's what we proceed with the functions. Okay, so let's not go in depth of that right now. So this is something related to what we call it as the arrays here. So any doubt regarding arrays, you people, 2D array, you can ask me before I proceed with the next example. Any queries? No queries, you can say me. I'll proceed with the next bit. Is it okay? Hello? I need your response. Your response is very important for me. Okay, because now we have started digging inside the C language. Now you should be more focused. Any queries? Okay. So I hope you understood how can you read the elements of a matrix, right? How can you print the matrix? Is it okay? So on that basis, we'll go
Yes,
ahead with the next program. Okay, so I'll read out the statement for you all. Program 8, develop a program to introduce 2D array manipulation and implement matrix multiplication and ensure the rules of the multiplication are checked there. Right? So what you are supposed to do in this case, you are supposed to proceed with the matrix multiplication. You are supposed to carry out, or you are supposed to write a program which will carry out the matrix multiplication. But you have to take care that so you are following the rules of the matrix multiplication before you proceed with the matrix multiplication there. So do you know what is the rules to write the or go ahead with the matrix multiplication there?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what is the rule?
Columns of first matrix must be equal to rows of second matrix.
Very good. Column of first matrix should be equal to rows of second matrix. If it is true, then only we people can proceed with the thing. Is it okay? This is a
Yes, ma'am.
condition. If this condition is not satisfied, I cannot proceed with the matrix multiplication. Right? Okay, so I'll just show you how can you do the matrix multiplication before we write the algorithm. Right? Okay, let's look into the finding the product or the matrix multiplication. Okay, product of the matrices, check the compatibility. What is the compatibility? Whatever you have mentioned, the same thing. Right? If yes, multiply. If the compatibility is met there, right, then you go ahead with the multiplication. What is that compatibility? Okay, so this is the compatibility. If I have two matrices A and B, if I am interested to multiply A and B there, then columns of the first matrix should be equal to rows of the second matrix. If it is true, then only I'll proceed with the multiplication. Otherwise, I have to stop. Is that okay? You check for this condition. This is what they are mentioning in the problem statement. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then, but with the same thing now. I'll ask something now. So I have 1, 2, 3 and 4, 3. Okay. Now can you proceed with the multiplication here?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you say? What is the size of this matrix?
3 into 1.
3 into 1. What is the size of this matrix?
1 into 2.
1 into 2. Okay. Here the column of
1 into
the
2.
first matrix is equal. Column of the first matrix is equal to row of the second matrix. That's why I can proceed with the multiplication. Correct? So here column is 1, row is 1. So that's why I can proceed with the matrix multiplication. Right? Okay. So I'll give one more example. Now go ahead with this. Size. You mention the size before you proceed with. 2 into
1 into 2.
1.
1 into. No, it is 2. 2 rows,
2 into
1
1.
column. No? 2 into 1.
1.
What about this? What about this?
2 into
2 into 1.
2 into 1. Right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this column, this is row. Are they equal?
No, ma'am.
No. So can you proceed with the multiplication here?
No, ma'am.
No. Right? So that's why 1 is not equal to 2. We cannot proceed with the multiplication. Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Agreed? Okay. So let's go ahead with the same thing now. Okay. Whenever you write the multiplication or carry out the multiplication, please take care that I'll be checking for the column of the first matrix and the row of the second matrix. What should be the resultant matrix that you are expecting here?
3 into 2.
3 into 2.
Right? Will be always the row of the first column, first matrix and the column of the second matrix. Agreed? row
Yes,
of the
ma'am.
first matrix. If I write this as R1, row of the first matrix, column of matrix. Is it okay? This is the order of the resultant matrix. Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. This you have to know. So before we proceed with the multiplication. So let's take some example. So we'll carry out the multiplication first, then we'll proceed with the writing the algorithm and the program for the same thing. Okay, so can you proceed with the multiplication? Check it out.
Yes, we can proceed, ma'am.
Right, so this is 2 into 2, this is 2 into
2 into 3.
3,
2 into 3.
right? So this is equal here. I can proceed with the
Multiplication.
multiplication. What is the resultant matrix order?
2 into 3.
Right? Is it okay? Is everybody is agreeing for this? Because whatever I am saying, on that basis only I'll try to write the algorithm. I'll try to write program. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any doubts you people can ask me before I proceed with? Okay. So now I'll go ahead with AB. Okay. Order. So if it is not equal, then it is, we say it's not compatible. But in this case, both are equal. So you can proceed with the multiplication. Right? Okay. So now order of the product is 2 into 3. Agreed? Is this is okay to everybody now? Now we'll start with the actual procedure. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now go ahead with this. I'll be picking the first row. Okay. First row, first element. And that will be multiplied with first column of the second matrix. Is it okay? Is it okay? So 1 is multiplied with 1. 1 is multiplied, sorry, 2 is multiplied with 1 there. So then after doing that, I'll be adding these two to get the result there. This is how you people will do the multiplication now. 1 is multiplied with 1 plus 2 is multiplied with 1. And this is yielding me the first element of the matrix, that is resultant matrix. Agreed, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Next one. So this one is again taken and it is done with the, multiplied with the second column there. How do I do? 1 is multiplied with 2 plus 2 is multiplied with 1. Is it okay? So this is my second element. Next one.
Yes, ma'am.
1 is multiplied with 0 plus 2 is multiplied with 3. So this is my last element of the first row of the resultant matrix. How many columns you need to have in the product matrix? How many columns you will have in the product matrix?
3 columns.
Right? So this is the first column, this is second column, this is third column. It is agreeable? Is it agreeable? This is true, this is for the first row, that is 0th row. And I'll be doing it for the second row also in the similar fashion. Agreed? I hope you know how to do the matrix multiplication. On that basis, I am proceeding with this. If people have studied this in the second PU, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct, right? So, you have any doubts, you people can ask me. So, any query?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I'll go ahead with the same thing. The same thing I have done here. 1 is multiplied with 1, right? Plus 2 is multiplied with 1 here. So I got the first element of the resultant matrix. Then 1 is multiplied with 2 and 2 is multiplied with, okay, it is minus 1 here. Okay, I have taken it as minus 1. I have written it wrongly there because I'm not considered that minus sign there, right? Is it okay? Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Next one. 1 is multiplied with this and 2 is multiplied with this. Right? Okay. I've done the same thing. 1 is multiplied with 0. 2 is multiplied with 3 there. Is it okay now? Any doubt regarding these things now? You have any doubts? Please feel free to ask the questions. I've just picked the first row of the matrix A. Then first row will be multiplied with the first column. First row will be multiplied with the second column. First row will be multiplied with the third column. How do we do the carry out the multiplication? First element will be multiplied with the first element of the second matrix, and the second element will be multiplied with the second element of the first column there. Then whatever result we get there, that will be added to get the first element of the resultant matrix there. Is it okay? Is that okay? I need your response, students. Right? Because, okay, so I'll be writing the programs afterwards. You shouldn't have any confusions. Very simple program. You people are going to write for this. There is not a big issue for this. So any doubt regarding carrying out this operation, please say something to me. Have any doubts, you people can ask me. No issue in this.
Doubts, ma'am.
No doubts? Okay. So let's go ahead with doing the carrying out the second or picking up of the second row now. Okay, second row, first element I'll be picking, and that will be multiplied with the, again, the first column of the, first element of the first column there. So minus 1 into 1. So it's yielding me minus 1. Okay, plus 1 into 0 there. So that's what I have done here. Right? Next, this again minus 1 into 2 and 0 into minus 1. So that's the second kind of. Next one is minus 1 into 0 plus 0 into 3. So I got this. So what is the final result of this? So this is 1 plus 3, sorry, plus 2. It is yielding me 3, correct? What is the result
Yes,
of
ma'am.
this? Right? So is it 3? 1 plus 2? Is it 3? So next one is 2 minus 2. How much it is?
0.
Is it 0? Right. Next one is, this is 0 and this is 6. Result is
6.
6. Right. Next one is minus 1 into, sorry, plus 0 there. So what is the result?
Minus 1.
Minus 1. Next one is minus 2
Minus
in
1.
minus 2 plus 0.
Minus 2, ma'am.
Right. So minus 2 I'll be writing here. Next one is this 0, 0. Result is 0. Right? So you are getting it as 0. Is it okay? And if you look at this, the size of this is 2 into 3. That's what we have already discussed. The resultant matrix order should be a row of the first first matrix and the column of the second matrix. This is the order of the resultant matrix. Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So any doubts you people can ask me before I go ahead with the algorithm. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Shall we start with the algorithm now? Okay. So I'll go ahead with the algorithm. The condition for the matrix multiplication is number of columns of the first matrix should be equal to number of rows of the second matrix. Right? Is it okay? How do I write that? Columns of the first matrix equal to rows of the second matrix. Is it okay? Is this okay? Now you have to suggest me, right? Then only I am able to write the algorithm. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? Okay. Let's start with the algorithm. Okay, so I'll start with the matrix multiplication. Start. Okay, enter the size of the matrix A. What is the matrix size? R1 and C1. I've taken like that because it becomes very easy for me to understand this. So this corresponds to row of the first matrix, column of the first matrix. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then you are supposed to enter the elements of the first matrix, right? Now you are supposed to enter, okay, I have read both the things first. So enter the size of the second matrix, that is R2 and C2. So this corresponds to row of the second matrix, okay, and row of the, sorry, column of the second matrix. Is it okay? So first matrix size is R1 into C1, second matrix size is R2 into C2. What is the condition for this?
C1 equals to R2.
Right. Correct? Is it okay? Is it okay? Is this okay,
Sure.
students? Right. Okay, now shall I read the contents or you want me to do something else? Shall I start reading the contents of the matrix A and B? Or shall I do something
Yes.
else? What I have to do? You suggest me.
Read the contents.
Shall I read the contents? Any answers from the other students? What you want me to do?
Read the order of max.
I have already read the order of both the matrices. Now, shall I read the contents of the individual matrix now? Or
No,
shall
first
I
check
do
the
something else
condition.
before I?
Check the
Pardon?
condition.
Very good. Okay. You check for the condition. If you check for this condition, so you'll left out with that much time. You are not wasting the time of the system there. Because now you will read the content for matrix A and B, and afterwards if you check for this condition, if this condition is not satisfied, so whatever data you have read is of no use. So before you proceed with reading the data for the matrices A and B there, you check for this condition. If this condition is satisfied, then only you proceed with reading the contents of matrix A and matrix B. I hope it is clear to everybody. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay. So now we are checking for the condition. Number of columns of the first matrix equal to number of the rows of the second matrix. Right? So that's what we are checking. If it is not true, okay, it is, and if it is not equal, then what should I do?
Matrix multiplication. Print a message.
Right? So I have to print a message telling that matrix multiplication is not possible. Correct? Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So I'll print the same thing now. So matrix multiplication is not possible. Right? So if you want to use a simple if, you people can use simple if. If you want to use if else, you can use if else statement. It is left to you people. Right? In this case, I have used if else statement. Right? It is up to you people. So after this, you can write print this statement and use the exit 0 to come out of the program there directly. And afterwards, you go ahead with the normal procedures, that is reading of the matrix A and reading of a matrix B and doing the calculation, that is matrix multiplication. Okay, in this case, I have used if else statement. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay, now I'll go ahead with the else part now. Okay, when do I go ahead with the else part? If this is not true. Not true means? What is the meaning of not true of C1 is not equal to R2?
C1 is equals to C2. R2.
Right? So C1 is equal to R2, that is a thing, right? So that's
C1
what we are taught,
to
right? C1 is equal to R2. Is it okay? Is this okay? Else part of this is nothing but this is true. C1 is equal to R2. So in this case, you are reading the matrix A, you are reading the matrix B. Correct? So any doubt in reading the matrix A and B here? Look at the statements and check it out. Is there any doubt? You people can ask me. So you are using two for loops to read the matrix. So this talks about the number of rows. This talks about the rows, columns of the individual rows there. So any doubt regarding this, students?
No, ma'am.
Right. So once we have read the matrix, contents of the matrices, then we'll proceed with matrix multiplication. Okay. Now we'll go ahead with matrix multiplication. So final matrix size should be size of the final matrix, resultant matrix should be, you have to answer.
Equal to rows of first matrix and columns of second matrix.
Right, so you already know this is the first matrix. Okay, this is the second matrix, row into column. Okay, we know that these two are equal. So I can write in place of C1, I can write R2 also. Is it true? In place of R2, I can write C1. Or in place of C1, I can write R2. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Because both are equal. Both are same. 2 equal to 2. If I write 2, okay, that is also corresponding to 2 of the R2 there. Okay, there is no issue in that. So resultant matrix order should be row of the first matrix, column of the second matrix. Correct? Agreed? Agreed? Say something. Right? Okay. That's why my loop starts from 0 to less than R1. Okay, this is the resultant matrix. That's what we are talking about. Resultant matrix. Right? You already told me that the size of that is R1 into C2. Is it R1 into C2? Resultant matrix order is R1 into C2?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So that's why the outer for loop will be 0 to R1. Okay, this should be less than R1 there because it starts with 0. Right? Next, inner loop is j is equal to 0 to C2 because the last value is C2 here. So this is corresponding to row, this corresponds to column here. Any doubt in this two for loops? Any doubt in these two for loops? Because this is a resultant matrix that I am going to do. Right, so resultant matrix size you already know. According to that only I have written the for loops here. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. So whenever you do the calculation, what you people are doing? You are picking the elements of the first row and you are doing the multiplication of the elements, individual elements of the first row with the individual elements of the second row there. So after doing the multiplication, you are trying to add that. Correct? Correct, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So in that case, how do I proceed with? So how do you take care of sum is equal to sum plus I in the hello? Some disturbance is there. Please mute your mics. Okay, sum is equal to sum plus I, where sum is initialized to 0. Correct, no?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the new value that I am getting. Here also, this is the first value that I am going to get. So this will be added with initially sum that is 0. So I'll get this multiplication of the same thing here. If I write here, so if I take this as 2 comma 3, okay, and 1 comma 2 here, and this is 1 comma 3 and 2 comma 3 here, right? So this is multiplied with this. So what is the result you are getting here? 2 into 1 is 2, correct?
2.
So this 2 is something like I am taking it as I here. So this will be added with sum. So sum is initialized to 0. 0 is added with 2. What is your result inside the sum now?
2.
2.
2.
So is it the multiplication of these two?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Next time I am taking this value because the first row values has to be considered. I'll be taking this value and I am multiplying this with this. What is the result you are expecting this for this? 3 into 2. What is the result you are expecting?
6 ma'am.
6 ma'am.
6. Okay. So now new value of I is 6 now. So this 6 will be added with a sum. What is the previous sum now that you got recently?
2.
2.
2. So 2 plus 6 is yielding me
8.
8. So this 8 will be placed inside the, okay, the resultant matrix here. Is it the first result that you are expecting after doing the, multiplication of the first row with the first column of the second matrix there?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So that's what I am doing here. So here it is equivalent to sum here. I am initializing that to 0 because this I am worried about the first bit, okay, first element. That's why I have taken care of I comma j there. This is my first element because I'll be having so many elements here. Correct, no? I'll be having
Yes.
so many elements. So every time I cannot write it as sum there, right? So I cannot take those many sums. Instead of that, I know the position of this particular element here. So I'll just note down that with the help of 2D array there. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So this is, if I write here C of I comma 0, initially this is also 0, this is also 0. So C of 0 comma 0 is initialized to 0. Which element is initialized to 0? Which element is initialized to 0 now, initially? C of 0 comma 0 means which element is this?
First element, ma'am.
C is what? C is what?
Column, ma'am.
No, it is not column. C is matrix here. It is a
C is a
matrix.
matrix of resultant matrix, ma'am.
Very good. C is a resultant matrix, right? So resultant matrix, first element, I am making it as 0. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Then I'll pick up this data and I'm multiplying with this data and I'm picking this from the first matrix, I'm picking it from the second matrix, I'm multiplying this, I'm adding this to the whatever value I've taken here. So it is 0, this will be added with 2 into whatever result 1 here, right? 2 into 1 there. Is it okay? So that it can be updated with the new value there. Is it okay, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? This is
Yes,
what,
ma'am.
how do I proceed with? Right? Okay, so this is my sum is equal to 0. Next, look at this. How do I proceed with the inner loop? Okay, this I need one more loop. This is purely meant for picking the data from the matrices. That is the A matrix and a B matrix. I'll repeat my statement. The inner loop that what I'm going to consider here. So this is helping me to pick the data from the matrix A and B. So these two loops are helping me to talk about the resultant matrix. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay, then how do I proceed with? So if I go ahead with this, now look at this. So this is C1. So it is left to you people. You people can write it as R2 also. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Why can I write it? Why should I write it as R2 there?
Because both are same values.
Right? Correct, na? Both are same values. Either you take it as R2 or C1. It is left to you people. Okay? Right. So now what I am going to do now? So in this case, you know that the first element of the first matrix, if it is A matrix, okay, whatever element is found at the first, first row of the first matrix there, so that multiplied with the first element of the Hello. Okay, back into. Am I audible, students, now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll just show you the slide now. Okay. Now, can you see the slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. So now in this case, so if I write here, so if I take here, right? So 2 into 2, 1, 1, 2. So this is matrix A, this is matrix B. Okay. I'll write it as 3, 0, 1, 2. Okay. Then how do I proceed with? I'll be picking the first row of the matrix A. Correct? Is it okay? I need your
Yes, ma'am.
response, right? Okay, so in that, I'll be picking the first element of the first row. Correct? Is it
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
The second, first element of the second matrix, that too from the first column. Is it okay? So this
Yes,
must
ma'am.
be multiplied with this. So if you look at this, if I'm standing on a first row, if I'm interested to pick 2 and 1, what is changing? If I'm standing on a first matrix and that too on the first row of the first matrix, if I'm interested to pick all the elements of the first row, what is changing and what is remaining constant there? Hello, I need your response,
Column.
students. Yeah, correct. Yeah. What is
Columns
changing?
are
Columns are
Columns of
changing.
first matrix.
Correct. Columns of the first matrix are changing and row remains same there. If you go ahead with this now, second matrix.
rows are
Rows are changing and columns are constant.
Correct. Rows are changing, columns are constant. Agreed?
Yes,
Agreed?
ma'am.
yes,
Right. So look into this
Yes,
now.
ma'am.
What is changing here? Row remains same, column is changing. In this case, column is changing. So column is changing here, sorry, row is changing here, column remains same. Is it okay?
yes, ma'am.
So look at this, because these are the outer loops. So once I complete this, then only I can go ahead with either this loop or this loop. Until I complete this, I cannot go to this for loop or this for loop. Agreed? Because these are the outer loops. To go to this, any one of these two outer loops, I have to complete the inner loop. Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay, so in this, you already mentioned me that. So if you go ahead with the first matrix, columns are changing. Okay, so now if you look at this A, columns are changing. So this K is acting as a column for the first matrix. Agreed? Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So go ahead with this now. In this case, okay, so now K is again changing here. So if you go ahead with this, rows are changing, columns is kept constant here. Either because of this J or I value, how it is true, we'll be looking into that also. But first look into this, how I have written this. So K means here you know that this row is changing. That's why I have written this. And every time this K is changing here because still I'm inside the loop itself, K loop itself. So this loop is making me to change the number of columns of the first matrix of the red row. Okay, at the same time, it is making me to change the rows of the red column. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So this is what is happening. And this is the heart of this particular program. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'll try to explain the same thing with the help of simple example. Right? So I'll take 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And I'll take this as 2, 1, 1, 2. So this is 2 into 2. This is also 2 into 2 matrix. It's a square matrix. There is no question of checking for the anything here. So still I'll check. So this is equal to this. Then I can proceed with the
Multiplication.
multiplication. Right? Okay. Look into this. What is this R1 value? This is my R1. This is my C1. This is my R2. And this is my C2. Resultant matrix is 2 into 2. Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is the value of this? This should be, make it fast, R1. Is it R1?
R C2.
Very good. Right. Okay. So this is R1. What is R1? Is it 2? Is it 2?
Yes, ma'am.
So what about this? This is also 2. And I have to do this till lesser than. Okay, because it has started with 0 there. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's begin with C of I comma j. Right? So what is this? This is 0. This is 0. So C of 0 comma 0 is 0. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So now go ahead with the inner loop now. I am inside the loop. I is equal to 0. J is equal to 0. Now I made C of I comma j equal to 0. Still I am inside the loop itself, where I is 0 and j is 0. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So now I'm entering into the inner loop, right? So where k is equal to 0, k and c is equal to what? C1 is equal to what? What is C1
2.
value? 2. Right. So till lesser than 2, I'll be carrying out this operation. Now look into this. So this is 0, I value. What is j value? What is j value? This is 0, this is 0. Okay, this I have already mentioned 0, 0. I am asking you the same thing. What is I?
0, ma'am.
J?
0.
0. Right?
0, ma'am.
What is I? I?
0, ma'am.
K? What is
0.
K? 0. What is K?
0, ma'am.
J?
0, ma'am.
Very good. Right? Okay. So what is C of 0 comma 0?
0, 0, ma'am.
What is C of 0 comma 0?
1.
What is C of 0 comma 0? C of 0, 0.
0, ma'am.
0, is it 0?
Yes, ma'am.
Agreed?
Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
A of 0 comma 0. What is A of 0 comma 0? So this is 0,
0,
this
ma'am.
is 1, this is 0, this is 1, this is 0, this is 1, this is 0, this is 1. What is the A of 0 comma 0?
0, ma'am.
A of 0 comma 0. This is my A matrix, this is my B matrix. I am asking you what is A of 0 comma 0?
1.
Is it 0? Is it 0? This
Yes.
is 1.
1, 1, ma'am.
This is not 1. What do you
It's
mean by
1.
A of 0 comma 0?
First row, first
First
Correct, no?
column.
First row,
First row,
first
first
element, ma'am.
column. Is it 1, no? Or 0?
Yes, ma'am. 1.
Yes, ma'am. 1.
1. Correct? Okay. Multiplied with what I am doing now. I am going with the second matrix. This is my B matrix. Okay. So what I am going to pick now? B of 0 comma 0. What is B of 0 comma 0 now?
2.
2, ma'am.
Is it 2? Is it 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So shall I mean, Is it now equal to 2 here? 1 into 2 is 2 now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
2.
ma'am.
It is added with 0. What is the final result that you are going to get for this now?
2, ma'am.
2. Is it 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Agreed? Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where do I place that 2 now?
In C of 0, 0.
Right? So
C of
this
0,
is
0.
my C of 0, 0.
Yes, ma'am.
So shall I
Yes,
place
ma'am.
here 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Agreed? Now come out.
Yes,
I mean,
ma'am.
come for the, increment the value of k now. Now k is incremented. K was initially 0. Now it is 1. Is it okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is 1 is less than 2?
Yes, true.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it true?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Next. Look at this. So now this is a of I comma j. What is I value?
0,
J value?
0.
0,
1.
C of 0 comma 0 is
1,
C
2, ma'am.
of, huh?
2.
2, ma'am.
Is it 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. A of I. I is
0,
J, K is
1,
K is
1,
1.
J is
0.
0. What is A of 0 comma 1?
2.
A of 0 comma 1. Is it 2?
2.
Is it 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody? Okay. What
Yes,
is
ma'am.
B of K comma, 1 comma 0? B of 1 comma 0.
1.
1.
Is it 1?
Yes, ma'am.
First row, 0th column. Correct? Is it this value?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So
Yes, ma'am.
multiplying with this and adding with this. So 2 into 1 is
2.
added with 2. Result is
4.
4,
4. What is the new value inside C of 0 comma 0?
4.
Is it 4 now? Can I erase this and can I write this as 4 now?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Is it the result of the multiplication of the first row with the first column of the second matrix?
Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Agreed? Agreed?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's go ahead with this. Now I'll be incrementing this now. Is 2 is less than 2? Is 2 is less than 2?
No, ma'am. False.
No. False. What should I do? I should go to this outer loop. Correct? J outer loop. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay. So now in this case, J is becoming 1 now. 1 is still less than 2 here. So that's why I am entering into this now. C of 0 comma. Is there any change in I value?
No, ma'am.
No. Only J value is changed. So C of 0 comma 1. 0 comma 1 means 0th row first column. Correct now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
0th row first column means you are still on the 0th row itself, but you are talking about the first column. Is it agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is initially 0 now. Is it okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So now I'll enter into this now. So in this case, again, whatever you have done for the first case, you'll be doing the same thing. So now you have done it for this column. Now the first row, the same row I am picking. Look at this. Okay, k is equal to initially 0 here. So 0 is less than 2. What I'm going to pick? A of 0 comma 0. What is A of 0 comma? What is A of 0 comma 0? Is it 1? Right? Okay, multiplied with B of 0 comma J value is what?
1 ma'am.
1.
0,
B
1 ma'am.
of 0 comma 1. What is B of 0 comma 1 now?
1 ma'am.
What do you mean by B of 0 comma 1? 0th
1
row.
ma'am.
0 through first column.
Correct?
0 through and
So
first column.
you are standing on this row, but you are standing on the first column. Agreed? So you are going to pick this. Is it okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So now this is nothing but what we call it as 1. And this we already know it is the same value, that is 1. Right? This is multiplied and it is added with C of 0 comma 0. What is this value? Sorry, this is 1 comma, sorry, 0 comma 1. J is 1 now. So 0. This is 0 now. Agreed? So 0 plus 1. How much is this now?
1.
So this is 1.
1 ma'am.
So 0 is replaced with 1. Next time, this should be multiplied with this value. Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
So this
Yes, ma'am.
value must be multiplied with this. What you people have done for the first case, the same thing I am doing for the second case also. First time you took this and you multiplied with this, and you took this and you multiplied with this, and you have added these two. That's what we have done. I have shown it with the help of k value, varying the k value. Initially k was 0, then I took the k value as 1, and once it becomes 2, I have come out of the loop there. And in that case, I got the value of the first element of the resultant matrix there. So similarly, you are doing for the second case also. I'm standing on the, still I am standing on the 0th row itself. I'm picking the first column. Then I'm multiplying with the first row of the second column. Okay, that's what we call it as the 0th row of the first column. Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Then
Yes,
I'll be
ma'am.
picking the first row, second column, second row, first column. Or that is first row, first column. Clear? That's
Yes.
what we people are doing here. So in that case, this becomes 1 because it is 1 now. So this is 2 into 2. It is going to be 4 in this case, right? So I'll write the same thing, 2 into 2. So I'll write this as 2 into 2. 2 into 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is
5.
5. So are you going to get this as 5 if you multiplied 1, 2 with 1, 2? If this is multiplied with this, are you going to get this as 5?
Yes ma'am.
Correct? 1
Yes, ma'am.
into 1 plus 2 into 2. So I'm going to get this as 5. Are you getting this as 5? Done with that. So any doubt regarding this now? So I've done with the first row. So next time, again I'm coming back here because this is over now. So I'll come back here. Now I'll increment this 2. J value is incremented to 2. Is 2 is less than 2?
No ma'am. False.
No. False. So I should go to the outer loop, still outer loop. So what is the outer loop now?
I loop.
I loop, correct? Where the I value was 0, now it is incremented to 1.
1.
So 1 is still lesser than 2. I'll enter into the loop now. Again it begins with 0 because now I started with the first row of the first matrix now. Whatever procedure you have followed for the 0th row of the first matrix, now we are following it for the first row of the first matrix. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So any doubt, please feel free to ask the questions. I've done it, okay, in a as per my knowledge, I have given the simplest logic for this. So these two talks about the, what we call it as the resultant matrix, loops here, and this is helping me to pick the varying, maybe the rows or the columns. You already know. For the row for the first matrix, the columns are changing, row is kept constant. For the second matrix, the rows are changing, column is kept constant. So on that basis, I'm doing this operation. This inner loop is working on the same concept. Which bit is varying, whether the column is varying or the row is varying, depending on that, this particular inner loop will be placed there. You know that for matrix A, column is changing. For the matrix B, rows are changing. So there I have kept the inner loop. Is it okay now? Any doubts, please feel free to ask the questions. Please, even though if it is sillier thing also, no issue, please ask me the things. If you don't have any issue, so I'll just go ahead with the program.
No issues, ma'am.
No issues? Okay. So I got the result inside the C now. Okay. So now this is the, how do you print the matrix? Matrix A you are printing, matrix B you are printing. You already know the printing of the things. Okay. Then you are finally printing the resultant matrix here. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. Then proceed with the same thing now. Okay. Main. So I have taken 3 matrices A, B and C there. I have given very smaller values there. Only maximum matrix size is 4 into 4 I have taken. Right? Okay. So these are some of the variables. You people can vary that. There is no issue. Next, enter the size of the matrix there. So I am entering R1 and C1 there. Right? Next, I am entering the matrix of size of the matrix B, R2 and C2. I'll check for the condition. Right? Matrix multiplication process. If this is equal to true, then only I'll proceed with. Otherwise, I'll not be doing the matrix multiplication. Right? So I'll check for the condition. If C1 is not equal to R2, are you carrying out the matrix multiplication there?
No, ma'am.
No. Right? So I'll write the same thing. Right? So matrix multiplication is not possible. So I'm just closing this. I'll go ahead with the else part now. In the else, I'll go ahead with the matrix multiplication. Okay. Enter the elements of the matrix A. I'm reading the matrix A now. You already know about this. Then I'm going to read the elements of the matrix B now. Once you read the matrix B, then we'll proceed with the matrix multiplication. Right? So final matrix size you already know. This should be R1 and C1 there. Sorry, C2 there. So I have taken the same thing for I is equal to 0, I less than R1 and inner loop should be J is equal to 0, J less than C2. Okay. So this is the condition, this is the what we call it as the order of the resultant matrix. So I'll initialize that equal to 0 initially, then I'll proceed with the other stuff. Okay. So inner loop may be either ranging from 0 to C1 or R2 because both are equal there. Okay. And we know that the first matrix columns are changing and second matrix rows are changing. So on that basis, I'll be using the inner loop there. Right. So K is equal to 0, K is less than C1 or R2. It is left to you people what you want to write for it. Then proceed with this. So C of I comma j is equal to C of I comma j. That's what I was mentioning. Sum is equal to sum plus, okay, some value I there. So I is nothing but A of I comma j, sorry, I comma k and into B of k comma j there. So in this case, right, you already know. So column is changing here, here row is changing. And that's what I am taking care. So only one statement inside the inner loop. So this is helping me to find the value of the resultant matrix. Any query till here? So this is the inner loop is closed here. Okay, the outer loop is closed here. So any doubt regarding this, you people can ask me. Whatever I have mentioned in the algorithm, the same thing I have translated into program. Any doubts, students? Any doubts? You have any doubts? You people can ask me. Hello.
No, ma'am, no doubts.
Okay. Okay. Now I'll be printing the matrix. You already know how to print the matrix, right? So matrix A, matrix B, I'm printing. Finally, I'll be printing the same thing, right? So this is the resultant matrix. The resultant matrix is R1 and C2 there. I'm printing the same thing there. So this is the resultant matrix here. Okay, so in the next class, I'll be showing you the execution. So before that, I have some outputs that I have already drawn. I'll try to show the same thing to you. Okay, look at this matrix multiplication. So I've entered some values 3 and 2 there, right? So this is the size of the matrix A and size of the matrix 2. Can you proceed with the matrix multiplication here? First one is
Yes,
3
ma'am.
into 2 and second one is 2 into 2. Can you proceed with matrix multiplication?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so we are proceeding with that. So first element, matrix of the first element, matrix of the second element. For the first case 3 into 2, 6 elements I will be entering. For the second case I will be entering 2 into 2, 4 data. Right, so 4 elements I have entered here. So matrix A is like this, 1, 2, okay, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Second one is 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Right, so matrix multiplication of this is yielding me. So look at this. So 1 is multiplied with 1 plus 2 is multiplied with first row, first column. So this is 2 into 1. Is it okay? Is it okay, students? 1 into 1 plus 2 into 1. What is the result that you are expecting out of it?
3.
3. Is it 3?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you getting this as 3 now? Is it 3?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Then, so again, I'll proceed with first row. Next what? First row,
Second column.
second column. Correct? How do I do that? 1 into 2 plus 2
2
into
into 2.
2. Right? So what is the result that you are expecting?
6.
Is it 6? Is it 6 here?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Done with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So next I am increasing the value of I here because I have to stand on the second row now. Right? Okay, so now I'll proceed with this now. 3 into this now. So 3 into 1 plus
1 into 1.
1 into 1. What is the result of it?
4, ma'am.
4. Are you getting this as 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Next one is 3, 1 is multiplied with 2 and 2. 3
3
multiplied
into
by 2 plus, okay.
1 multiplied by 2.
Right. So result of this is
8.
8.
8. Are you getting this as 8?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So final one is 2 and 3 with 1 and 1, 2 into 2 and 3 with 2 into 2. So what is the result now? 2,
5.
2 into 1 plus 2 into 1. So what is the result of this? Have I done the mistake? Okay, sorry. 3. 2 into 1, 3 into 1.
5, ma'am.
Is it 5? Okay, this is 5. Next, 2 into 2 and 3 with 2 into 2. 2 and 2. 2 into 2 plus,
2 into 3.
okay, what is the result?
10.
Is it 10? Are you getting this as 10? Is this is okay with you all?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So any queries related to this now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now this is another result here. Okay, so I've taken another value here, right? Okay, 2 is a square matrix here. You can proceed with that. We have got the result over here. So I've given one more case here. Okay, size of the matrix 2 and 3 here, and this is 2 and 3 here. Can you proceed with the matrix multiplication here?
No, ma'am.
No,
No,
so
ma'am.
it's not
No,
possible.
ma'am.
So it is showing me it's not possible. Is it okay? The execution I'll be showing
Yes,
in
ma'am.
the next class. Right? So
Okay, ma'am.
please go through the program. If you have any doubts, please ping me, or you just ask me in the next class. But I want you people to know the working of that particular algorithm. Only this much. Okay, this is the heart of the program. I already mentioned. Okay, this is the heart of the program. Just show it to you. Only this much. Okay, because other part is only reading, writing. Right? Only this is the heart of the matrix multiplication. So this corresponds to the resultant matrix, and this corresponds to picking of the elements from the first and the second matrix. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay. Still, if you find any difficulty in this, you people can ask me in the next class while showing you the result of this. I'll just execute this and I'll show it to you. Right? Okay. So any queries related to this, because this is all about what we call it as the 2D array. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you people can ask me.